Head coach. Now for your hometown Tattnall Square Academy Trojans. Leading off, shortstop number 10, Marquez Wilson. Batting second, the pitcher number 14, Braxton Collins. Batting third, number 22, Griffey Gorman. Batting fifth, the designated hitter number 5, Caleb Malcolm, with Michael Clyde at second base. Batting sixth, the first base number 12, Chandler Cook. Batting seventh, playing right field number 4, Cam McDonald. Batting eighth, playing left field number 7, Mason Colors. Batting ninth, playing third base number 13, Tate Morris. And the rest are your Tattnall Trojans. Head coach Jordan Brooks, assistant coaches Tom Gorman, Jeff Ward, and Corey Bartholomew.
Corey Bartholomew, is that Ryan Bartholomew's brother?
Please join me for a word of prayer. Lord God, we come to you tonight. We thank you for this, all the young men out here on the field tonight. Amen.
And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we'll get started here at Tattnall Square Academy. I'm Abe Mazingo on the call tonight, Middle Georgia Sports Live, for Game 2 of this series between FPD and the Tattnall Square Trojans. FPD took the win on Tuesday at home, extended their home game win streak to 18 games on the season, which is just incredible. 18 home game wins in a row. Good grief. I'm getting caught up in my words. But they had a win there. Keon Johnson hit the walk-off home run Tuesday night at the bottom of the 7th. If you were watching, you got to hear the lovely Tyler Knight make the call. Did an excellent job his first game. Flying solo, if you will. He did an excellent job, Tyler Knight. Always love to have him here at Middle Georgia Sports Live. Also, if any of you guys are fans of the Middle Georgia State University Knights, Tyler Knight is one of the pitchers on that squad, so be able to tune in and watch him. But it's also nice to have him over here. His knowledge of the game is unmatched, and it's always a great time to have him, just to get to be able to pick his brain and also just be able to hear his mind on what he has to say about baseball. He is just an excellent guy. I always love to have him over here. But anyways, that being said, Tattnall Square Academy, they'll be set to pitch here in about 4 minutes. We'll probably get started at exactly 7 o'clock, maybe a minute or two earlier. But Tattnall comes in the game 7-6 on the year. Wyatt Still has really been the highlight player of this Tattnall team. Racked up a total of 62 strikeouts on the year, but also most notably his game against Mount DeSales 2 weeks ago here. Kyle Tucker was on the call when Wyatt Stills made history, picked up 18 strikeouts, a new state record against the Mount DeSales Cavaliers, and a big statement win there. And Tattnall will play Baker County their next game on April 9th. But on the mound today for the Tattnall Square Trojans is Braxton Collins. He'll be taking the mound. He'll be doing the honors of being the opener, if you will, for the Tattnalls today, or for the Trojans, not the Tattnall, excuse me. So Braxton Collins, the right-handed pitcher, the junior, he'll be on the mound today. But also just keep your eyes open for, also, he's on the mound, but he also doubles as an excellent hitter, the best hitter on this team, 444 average. And also Wyatt Still already highlighted him already, but he is just an excellent athlete for this Trojans offense and defense. A .6 ERA, which is just very, very crazy. He's practically been untouchable this year. Despite the record of the Trojans being at 7-6 under Coach Brooks, they've still been able to put together a great season despite the record shows. They are a team that will not be down and out and not let themselves get low, but also they're just greatly led. Coach JB, if you will, has been an excellent guy. Especially he's been very nice to the people here at Mid-Georgia Sports. It's been awesome, helped us get started here at Tattnall. So first pitch will be thrown out in probably about a minute and a half here as Keon Johnson takes the plate here for the FPD Vikings, the leadoff man. He'll be playing leadoff duties here as he does in most of the games. The best hitter on this FPD team, batting with a .560 average. So really every other time he's up to bat, he's already a threat. So that .560 average, makes him even more of a dangerous threat. But also on the defensive end, he's an excellent defender, can cover a lot of ground at the shortstop position. But now Braxton Collins' first pitch on the way to Johnson. Johnson rips it left field. That's going to get down for a double. That'll get past the left fielder's glove. Keon Johnson on the horse still. He'll hold up at second as the throw is relayed in to the shortstop, Wilson. And Keon Johnson gets the Vikings started off early with a double. Takes the first pitch and just crushes it to that left field gap and is able to get a double on that. So now Major Simmons is up now for the Vikings. Has been an excellent power hitter at the second spot. One of the other speed threats on this Viking offense. Had the nice home run against Stratford 2 weeks ago at the last home game that I did. So Collins will get the sign. Pitch on the way. Simmons rips it. It'll just bounce off the plate back. Foul. So FPD comes in this game with a crazy record, 16-1 on the year, number 2 in the state in terms of rankings, right behind Loganville. So they are an absolute wagon, if you will. They were a state championship runner-up last year, losing to Brookstone, in the state championship game. But, of course, under Greg Moore, they've been able to claw their way back and pretty dominantly and pretty convincingly show why they should have been state champions last year, but they would come back even stronger and better this year, especially with the help from the highlight player, Keon Johnson, the Gatorade Player of the Year last year for the entire country, and a highly touted prospect already committed verbally to Vanderbilt with potential to be drafted, but most likely he'll forego. Academic prestige is high with the Commodores. So count now, I believe 1-1. Oh, no, Major Simmons is struck out, So Keon Johnson takes off to third, throw in. Johnson is safe, no doubt about it. So during the break, while I was rambling, Major Simmons struck out, so Braxton Collins picks up his first K of the day. And Brady McHugh's up to bat now, down 0-1 in the count. He's also one of the players on this team one of the many players on this FPD team that is going to play baseball at the next level, committed to ETSU. And if you see him on the base paths, he's a dangerous threat. Has double-digit steals this year for the Vikings, been an excellent speed threat. Definitely something that the opposing team has to game plan for every week, just knowing when he's on the path, so you got to be careful. And then now count 1-1 here for McHugh, even up. One's on the board. Collins pitches in. McHugh grounds it to the third baseman. Gets past the glove into the outfield. So that will score the runner Johnson. And McHugh will stand up at first on that pass ball to third baseman. So Johnson passes. McHugh will get the RBI single on the other end. But for now, he'll be hitting first before he takes the mound. As Collins gets a sign, checks runner first, goes for the pickoff, but unsuccessful on that attempt as McHugh gets in safe. Take a big lead at first. McHugh may see a steal here from McHugh. Looks to be getting the sign. He'll get back. Really close there on the throw from Collins on the pickoff. So 2 step off now for Collins. He'll signal in. McHugh lightly a threat to steal here. Pitch in. Waters will take it. 1-0 count now for the pitcher Waters. Collins pitch in. McHugh takes off. Waters is going to smack it to third base. McHugh is going to be able to pick up the third base here. He'll slide in. Kind of an awkward slide for McHugh. Runs into the third baseman. A little bit of an awkward slide for McHugh. Kind of caught the ground a little bit on that face-first slide into third. But he'll get up nonetheless. Seems to be okay as Wyatt Waters picks up that single. Now runners at the corners for the Vikings as Coach Moore signals in to his pitcher on first base to give him the sign. So Tinsley Lewis, the catcher, will be up to bat for the Vikings. He's the protector of the plate, serving as the catcher today for the Vikings. It's been an excellent job. Great defensive catcher on the defensive side. Been able to slash well for the Vikings this season. So Collins will get the sign, checks Waters at first. Goes for the pickoff, nobody home. Excuse me, Luke Shepley has, Coach Moore has opted to put in a pinch runner at first. Luke Shepley, the sophomore, in place of Waters, just to get a little bit of extra speed on the base paths here with runners at the corners for the Vikings. Collins checks runner, gets the sign. Pitch on the way. That'll be a strike. Into the senior catcher for the Vikings. One of the many seniors on this Viking squad, really highlighted by lots of seniors here. Of course, guys like Roper, Simmons, Keenan, Tinsley Lewis, Connor Strandmark, most importantly, Jake Lane, our favorite senior on the FPD Viking squad. So 0-1 here, Collins. Runner still at the corners, no outs, or 1 out, excuse me. Simmons had the strikeout. Check Shepley at first. Collins in. Lewis will hold it. So count even at 1. So high speed in there. May see a change of speed here for the pitcher Collins just to throw off the timing of Lewis. Checks runner again. And it's safe on the pickoff. Seemed to get caught up a little bit, the runner Shepley, but the umpire infield will call him safe. As Collins was quick on the pickoff, was able to catch Shepley hesitating. But he'll be signaled safe now as he takes another lead from first. Runner still at third in McHugh. Count even on the way. Tinsley Lewis was looking for it, couldn't find it. He'll swing and a miss. Now 1-2 count. Collins thrown a good bit of pitches so far early. In the double digits now here in the first. Steps off to first, doesn't get the man. Been very aggressive on the pickoff moves here, but the Vikings on the other end have been a threat on the base paths the entire season, and I'm sure Coach JB knows that, and he's game planned for this. Shepley takes another big lead at first. Pitch in to Lewis. Lewis will hold. So Lewis will get struck out and rung up there. Caught looking for the second strikeout of the day for Collins. So Grant Martin will step up, usually at the first base position, but he's at DH tonight as Strandmark is in the lineup. Not pitching tonight, so Strandmark will be at first. and Martin will move to the DH spot. Grant Martin had a home run last week in the Stratford game as the Vikings took on the Eagles at Stratford at Bobby Henley Field. And the Vikings were able to come up big in the ninth inning, with a home run from Harrison Keenan. But Grant Martin also, too, was able to add a home run in that winning effort. Collins gets a sign, picks off again, goes for it. Shepley's safe again. Don't know how many times he's turned and faced that first base for the pickoff, but got to keep a counter here. Off. It's 2 outs, runners in the corners for the Vikings. 1-1 count into Grant Martin. Collins, pitch in. Martin will hold it. Be a strike 2 call for the junior pitcher. Braxton Collins steps off. No throw back on the pickoff. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Corner runner still for the Vikings. Representative McHugh and Shepley. Pitch in to Martin. Martin will hold. It'll be a strike 3. Another strikeout looking for Collins as he picks up his 3rd of the inning. And the Vikings will leave a runner stranded at 3rd. 3 hits in the inning for the Vikings as we head to the bottom of the 1st here on Middle Georgia Sports Live. We'll take a little break and we'll be right back. The lead 1-0 now as the Trojans trail 1-0. Braxton Collins yielded that run last inning. Keon Johnson scored on a Major Simmons single. Or not Major Simmons, single. Brady McHugh single. In the one spot as Wyatt Waters is on the mound for the Vikings. So 1-0 here. As we move to the bottom of the first pitch in. That'll be ball 1 for Wilson. It's now 1-0 count. Now 2-0. Wyatt Waters pitched the Stratford game that we did, Tyler and I, 2 weeks ago. Or last week. Or I guess it was 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago when Tyler and I did that game. Wilson will smack it back now 1-2 count, or 2-1. Tyler and I did that game. Wyatt Waters had a good outing, just kind of lost control in the 2nd and 3rd inning for ball 3. So now 3-1 count. Marquez Wilson ahead heavily. So Wilson, pitch on the way to Lewis. Wilson smacks it center field. Simmons calls the guys off. He'll catch it. That'll be out number 1. Major Simmons retires Marquez Wilson. So Braxton Collins in the 2-hole spot. Retired 3 in the 1st from the mound, looking to get a ball into play here for the Trojans offense. Looking to start the offensive attack here for the Trojans as pitch in for strike 1 from Waters. Now 0-1 for the junior pitcher at the plate. Braxton Collins smacks it, left field tracking. Roper tried to make the diving play, couldn't get it. Was close on the attempt. Johnson was also in pursuit back. So Roper unsuccessful in his attempt to make that play, and that will yield a base runner now for the Trojans. Braxton Collins at first. And now for the Trojans up to bat. Wyatt Still. Already mentioned him. He's been an excellent factor on the offensive and defensive side for the Vikings, or for the Trojans, goodness. For the Trojans this year, 18 strikeouts against Mount DeSales, state record, and 62 strikeouts on the year with a .6 ERA. So he's been practically unstoppable on the defensive side, as he'll take that first pitch for a ball. 1-0 count now. Pitch 2 on the way off the foot of Stills, be foul ball. Now 1-1 even count. So still count 1-1 here. Waters pitch in. Still smacks it right center gap. And that's going to be a hit down. That'll likely score the runner, Collins. Still is hustling on the horse. He'll get it second. Throw will be into home. It'll be close, but not close enough. And that will score the runner, Collins. Now score tied at 1. Wyatt Waters gives up the first runner of the game for the Trojans now. So Griffin set for the Trojans. Goodness. For the Trojans this year, as the Vikings look to hold the Trojans here to just 1, with the runner now in scoring position in Collins, or in Still at second base, excuse me, as that first pitch is in for strike 0-1 to the sophomore catcher, Gorman. So 0-1 now. Still will get the call from Lewis. Inside, it's smacked high by Gorman. Also, Still one of the other guys, not one of the other guys, one of the many players on this FPD team playing baseball at the next level. He's going to Augusta to play baseball there at the collegiate level, so congratulations to him, but doesn't mean the work is finished here quite yet for FPD, as his second pitch is in. Smacked to left field. Roper will field it. He throws it in. Great throw there from Brett Roper, but it gets wide of Lewis. As now the Trojans have a runners on the corners with that hit from Griffey Gorman. Caleb Malcolm up to bat now, the DH tonight for the Trojans. Little Freebird is the walk-up song. Nice to hear the Leonard Skinner. And the Trojans will bring in a pinch runner. Number 2, Charlie Kemp, the speed demon for the Trojans, the 8th grader. Racked up a couple of steals here for the Trojans as a pinch runner. So now Caleb Malcolm at the DH spot. Runners at the corners for the Trojans. Pitch on the way to Malcolm. Kemp takes off as expected, but it's foul ball. So Kemp will go back to first on that foul ball back for Malcolm. Now 0-1 count. Pitch on the way, 0-1 pitch. Might see Kemp take off here, but he'll hold. As Malcolm will take that pitch now, 1-1. 1-1-1 all over the board here. Gets the sign. Kemp takes off. Throw in a second. Past the glove of the second baseman, McHugh. Dropped by Simmons at third, or at center, excuse me, and that will score the runner, Stills, as Kemp causes the Vikings to have a rare mistake in the field. Tinsley Lewis a little off on the throw, and McHugh just couldn't field it cleanly. It gets to the center field gap to Major Simmons, and that will score the runner, Stills. as Kemp moves to third. Puts another runner in scoring position for the Trojans as they've been aggressive so far to start. So Caleb Malcolm's Charlie Kemp was able to cause a ruckus in the defensive field for the Vikings. And Chandler Cook now up to bat, the first baseman for the Trojans tonight. Waters. Chandler Cook just smokes that ball to the left field to Brett Roper, and he cooks it. The chef is in the kitchen. Chandler Cook sends it to left field for a 2-run shot. That'll score himself and Kemp a 2-run home run for the first baseman, and the Trojans are riding high. Now up 4-1. 2-run shot from Chandler Cook. 4-1 now. The Vikings trail. Wyatt Waters already giving up 4 runs this inning. As Brett Roper tried to make that play in the left field, was just unsuccessful. Chandler Cook absolutely tattooed that ball to the left field fence. And he said, I don't have warning track power. I got parking lot power. And that's where he sends it. So 1-4 now, 2 outs. Chandler Cook's 2-run home run will bring up Cam McDonald, the right fielder. So 0-1 count. Waters pitch in. Smack down the line, but foul. So Cam McDonald looking to continue this rally. Not really a rally, but just a offensive output for the Trojans here at the bottom of the first. Now 0-2 count. Pitch in. Will hit the dirt. Now 1-2. As Waters continues to struggle with command here early on. That'll be ball 2. Now count even. 2-2-2. All on the board for the Trojans. And McDonald's, he up to bat looking to add on. No runners on now without bench clearing home run, or base clearing home run, if you will. 3-2 count now. Count is full for McDonald. Sophomore right fielder. Looking to claw his way back and get on base with a walk here. As ball 4 will be yielded, Cam McDonald will head to second. Or to first, excuse me. Goodness. Cam McDonald will head to first. And the left fielder, Mason Collins, will step up to bat for the Trojans. Wyatt Waters just has to dial it down and just get back under control after giving up 4 runs so far. 2 outs still for the Trojans. And left field, Mason Colors up to bat. Junior outfielder pitch in for ball 1. Or for strike 1, excuse me. That'll be ball 1 now, 1-1 for Colors. Still 2 outs for the Trojans. They've been able to just stay steady and put out good offensive numbers despite the out counter being at 2. Pitch in. Already got 1 this inning, but he's given up 4 despite the strikeout. At strike 3, that'll be his second strikeout of the game, and that will end the first inning. The Trojans lead by 3, courtesy of the home run from Chandler Cook. The 2-run home run was able to put in those last 2 runner scores, Kemp and himself Cook. So 4-1. As we head to the top of the second here on Middle Georgia Sports Live, we'll be right back. Back here, Middle Georgia Sports Live, top of the second, about to get underway here at Tattnall Square. The Trojans lead 3 after the bottom of the first, as the Trojans were able to put in a nice effort there to pick up 4 runs. Wyatt still crossed the plate. Chandler Cook brought home the runners with a 2-run knock. And that puts the lead at 4-1 as Braxton Collins, 3 strikeouts to start the game, was unfortunately yielded a run, but it was able to pick up 3 Ks in the wake of that. And that'll bring up Connor Strandmark for the Vikings at the 7th spot, playing first base today. Sometimes you may see Connor Strandmark on the mound, and he's been excellent this season. Now holds a school record for no-hitters with 3 for the FPD Vikings, and also in wins and career strikeouts. Has career strikeouts with 260, 29 wins, and also strikeouts in a season with 127. So he's been an excellent piece for the Vikings team, and that is the reason why he is going to play baseball at Mercer next year. A dominant pitcher on the mound. Of course, FPD known for having some dominant pitchers. John Rocker was really the headlining player for the Vikings. His tenure with the Vikings, he was able to throw multiple no-hitters as well. A nice backhand play from the shortstop, and that will be a nice play from the shortstop, Marquez Wilson. The backhand play, was able to retire Strandmark. Marquez Wilson, excellent play on the backhand. Just flashes the leather, is able to pick it up, and he slings it to first for out number 1. Out number 1. Collins pitch on the way to Keenan. Keenan was the late game hero for the Vikings as they trailed big to the Eagles of Stratford Academy last week on the road. He was able to come up big with a 3-run home run. That was the go-ahead home run for the Vikings, as that is grounded to the third baseman, Tate Morris, and he retires Keenan at first, and that'll bring up Sam Bryant, the 9-hole hitter for the Vikings tonight. Bryant at the third base spot, the hot corner tonight for the Vikings defense. And Collins has continued to stay hot, retiring the first 2 batters with groundouts. Pitch is on the way. That'll be strike 1 now, 0-1 count. 0-1 count for Collins as he's ahead. Second pitch is fouled left. Count now 0-2 for Sam Bryant. So 2 outs. Collins looking to retire the side in order with an out here on Bryant. Pitch on the way. That'll be ball 1. Now climbing himself back, Bryant is. Now 1-2 in the count, still behind. Ball will even it up here. So 1-2 now, pitch on the way from Collins. Was looking for the strike call there, didn't get it. Now count even at 2. And now the 2s are flashing. 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 outs in the second inning. So 2s are everywhere for the Vikings, as they're looking to rally here with 2 outs. And Bryant at the plate, count even at 2, on the way from Collins. That pitch will get away. Now count is full. Bryant has been able to claw his way back in this AB. Remaining patient at the plate, and Collins showing a little bit of frustration there as he's not been able to locate it where he needs it to be. But on the way. And that will be ball 4. He looked to get a strike there on Bryant, but didn't get the strikeout call he wanted. So Braxton Collins gives up a base runner in that walk to the third baseman Bryant. And Keon Johnson up to bat, had that nice double to start the game for the Vikings. He'll step in looking to bring in this runner Bryant at first with 2 outs and 1 runner on. Collins, pitch to Johnson. Johnson smacks it, and Marquez Wilson is able to get in front of it, and he'll snatch it, and he'll say anchors down for this Trojans defense, as they have remained resilient this inning, and as a result, they retire. They're able to move to the bottom of the second here, up 3. 4-1 is your score on Middle Georgia Sports Live. We'll be right back with the bottom of the second. Has been excellent on the mound for the Trojans tonight, but nonetheless, the Trojans are up to bat here. Tate Morris, the third baseman, had that nice play to retire the Viking Keenan, as Wyatt Waters is looking to dial it in here on the mound, giving up 4 in the first with that home run to Cook. That's just off the bat, awkwardly fielded cleanly by Bryant. On to Strandmark. That'll be out number 1. The boys will toss it around the infield, and they'll find the ball back to Wyatt Waters for out number 1. And that will flip the rotation over, the lineup, whatever you may call it, for the Trojans as Mark. But on the defensive end, he's come up big last inning, or especially at the top of this inning, was able to pick up a pair of outs. That first pitch is in at 1-0 now for the shortstop. Or 2-0 now, excuse me. So count now 2-1 with that strike from Waters. That pitch is in. On the stretch, but Johnson makes a nice play to cover the range, but nonetheless, Wilson will be safe at first. And that'll bring up Braxton Collins. Was able to put a ball into play his last time at the plate. So Wyatt Waters looking to stay composed here. Pitch on the way. Marquez Wilson will take off, but it will be Aiden's at third in the first. I say back in the first, last inning. He was able to smack one to center field, and it was a big play for the Trojans. Now 4-1. Trojans up 3. Runners at the corners, 1 out. That'll be ball 1, or strike 1, excuse me. So strike 1 for Wyatt Still. The runner at first in Still, but the runner Wilson will score from third, making the lead now 5-1. Trojans up 4 with a runner in scoring position represented by Collins. And Griffey Gorman will come up to bat. Had a nice single. Just was able to bloop it into left field. Roper made a diving attempt, but was unsuccessful in that attempt. And he was able to pick up a single. Now runner in scoring position, Gorman looking to come up big for the Trojans. 5-1, first pitch in for Waters. That'll be strike 1. So 0-1 now. Waters still has had a good innings. And now 1-1 even count for the DH Excuse me, not the DH. The catcher. Excuse me. The catcher, Gorman. So now 2-1, Gorman ahead in the count as Waters struggles to find the strike zone. And that'll be ball 3. So now 3-1, Gorman in a heavy hitters count here. Up 3-1 in the count as Waters looks to battle back and retire the side. Gorman smacks it foul to right field. So now count is even, or not even, count is full at 3-2 with 2 outs. So bottom of the second here. 3-2 count. Waters has been able to claw his way back and even up the count, or not even up, excuse me, get the count full. 2 outs. Waters pitch on the way to Gorman. And that will be strike 3. Griffey Gorman is rung up on strikes there. So that will conclude the bottom of the second as we move to the top of the third by Stills. We'll move to the top of the third here. We'll be right back on MGSL. Back here at MGSL, Major Simmons is set to lead off for the Vikings as they trail 5-1 here. He's been dealing so far on the mound tonight. 4 strikeouts for the junior pitcher. Pitches into Simmons for a strike 1. It'll be foul ball. So 0-1 count now for Simmons. The Major. Great name there. Second pitch is in now 0-2. Braxton Collins. And Braxton Collins is able to ring up Simmons again for strike 3. That'll be Braxton Collins' 5th strikeout and Major Simmons' 2nd on the day. So Brady McHugh up to bat now for the Trojans, or for the Vikings, goodness. First pitch is in for strike 1 on the second baseman, McHugh. Second pitch in. That'll be ball 1 now. 1-1 even count for McHugh. Collins winds up, pitch down the way. Smack to shortstop. Wilson was tried to field it cleanly, but was unsuccessful. And McHugh will be in at first. Wilson was just a little off with that play there on second. So Wyatt Waters now at the bat for the Vikings. Collins gets the pitch in to Waters. That'll be ball one. So 1-0 count now for Collins. The pickoff, though, to first, unsuccessful on McHugh. So Collins gets a signal from Griffey. Pitch down the way. So 1-1 count now, even. 1-1. 1 strike, 1 ball, 1 out. For Waters. McHugh at first. He checks runner. Collins pitches in for ball 2 to Waters. So 2-1 count. Runner at first to McHugh for the Vikings. 1 out. Waters ahead up 2-1 in the count. Collins. Look for the pickoff. They've been doing a lot of that tonight. The Trojans have on the defensive end, looking to try to get that pickoff wherever they can. Pitch in. Smacked high. Gave chase foul, but unsuccessful. Now 2-2. 2 strikes, 2 balls, 1 out. For the Trojans, or for the Vikings. Great night here in Macon, Georgia. Had a little bit of rain yesterday, but the weather has subsided. And we're able to have a great evening of baseball here at Tattnall Square Academy. It's a good, solid 78. It's probably about 90% humidity. But it is what it is down here in South Georgia. In the Detroit. That ball is smacked foul left field by Waters. Two count now, 1 out. As Braxton Collins looks to stay dominant here. Has 4 strikeouts on the day. Collins pitches in. That'll be strike 3. That'll retire the batter Waters as he'll get his second strikeout. Or he'll strike out here, excuse me. So Braxton Collins picks up his 5th strikeout of the day, and that will lead up for the Vikings. Up for the Vikings now is Tinsley Lewis, the catcher. Had that wild throw that resulted in the runner scoring in the first. Braxton Collins first pitches in for ball 1 to Lewis. It's now 1-0. See some Texas, I can tell. So Braxton Collins now behind 1-0. He'll go for the pickoff on McHugh, unsuccessful. May just have to lay off on that for a minute. Top of the third here, 1-5, 2 outs. 1-0 count. Collins pitch in to the catcher Lewis. For strike 1 now, 1-1 count. for Lewis. Collins is able to even it up with that strike call. So now 1-1. Pitch on the way for ball 2. 2-1 now for the Vikings. Collins, pitch on the way. Runner goes. Brady McHugh. Nobody there at second. It'll get past the second baseman, and McHugh's on the horse to third. Throw is in. Good throw there from the Trojans. But McHugh is safe at third. Now in scoring position for the Vikings with 2 outs. 5-1 is the score still, as the count is 3-1 now. Collins gets to wind up, pitches in for ball 4. And that will move Tinsley Lewis. That'll move Tinsley Lewis to first. Now runners at the corners, and Grant Morris up to bat now for the Vikings. Grant Morris. 1-5 here still. Braxton Collins looking to stay composed and not yield a runner, with 1 in scoring position and 1 at first now. Steps off to first, was looking for the pickoff. So he's been doing that a lot tonight, Collins has, and the runners have been ever so aggressive for both ends, whether that be the Trojans base runners or the FPD Vikings base runners. Both have been threats on the path. And it's smacked right back to Collins. He's making an excellent play there on to first base for out number 3. And Collins is able to avoid the jam, and he's able to get out of it now 1-5 as we head to the bottom of the third here at Tattnall Square. The Trojans lead by 4, up 5-1. We'll be right back on MGSL. Back here at Tattnall Square Academy in Macon, Georgia. Wyatt Waters giving up 5 runs for the Vikings, as the Trojans have continued to be offensively dominant, as they've been able to pour out the base runners and just been able to get the bats hot. Now up 5-1 as the DH for the Trojans, Caleb Malcolm. He was able to reach base his last AB, which brought up the home run from Chandler Cook. That ball is hit to McHugh onto Strandmark for out number 1. They'll throw it around, and the ball will find its way back to the pitcher Waters, and Chandler Cook up to bat now for the Trojans. Had the nice 2-run blast in the first inning way back when. Was able to score the runner Malcolm. So he'll look to repeat his offensive output from the first inning with another home run here. This time it'll be a single shot, but no problem. As first pitch is in for strike one. So 0-1 now. Second pitch is in now, 1-1. Cook smacks it left field, but it'll roll foul. Or not roll, sail high to left field. Second pitch is in now, strike two on the foul. So 1-2 count now. Waters with a chance to retire. 1-2. One-two pitch on the way from Waters. Gets a signal from Lewis. That'll be ball two, a little high. So count even at 2 now, 1 out for the Trojans. Chandler Cook up to bat, pitch on the way. And that'll be ball 3. So count now full. Count now full 3-2 to the slugger Cook. And he's able to pick up ball 4, and he'll move on to first. Chandler Cook will be the first base runner of the inning for the Trojans. It's Cam McDonald, the right fielder, up to bat for the Trojans. Grounded out his first appearance in the first inning. Pitch into McDonald. Checks runner at first for ball 1. Strike 1, excuse me. Oh, 1 pitch on the way from Waters. That'll be strike 2 now. Waters with a chance to retire. McDonald's. That ball will hit the dirt. Runner will take off. And Cook will be safe at second. As McDonald is able to let that ball go. Now 1-2. McDonald will advance to second on the pass ball. So 1-2 count, 1 out. Pitch on the way. Waters. Ball is smacked to right field. That might be gone again. Will die at the warning track. Coach JB is waving the runner home, but he'll stay. That ball looked to be knocked out, but it'll die at the track. Cam McDonald, nonetheless, is able to advance both himself and the runner Cook into scoring position now. Scoring position. And now the left field spot tonight for the Trojans. He looks to bring in another runner. So Coach Moore now, Waters, as he has struggled to find consistency tonight from the mound, from the bump, if you will. As Coach Moore will talk it over with his infield. Of course, with their backs against the wall here, they're not unfamiliar. Of course, at Stratford, this was the exact same score in the 4th inning. Their backs being up against the wall. 1-5 now. Greg Moore will emerge from the mound visit. He'll talk it over with Waters. The runners will re-enter the base paths. In scoring position for the Trojans is Cook and McDonald, as Colors is up to bat. Infield in here, looking to pick up anything short. That'll be high for ball 1. So 1-0 now on deck. Tate Morris for the Trojans. Picked up a nice hit in the second. Or first, excuse me, pitch on the way to Waters. We strike one now. Now evened up, 1 strike, 1 ball, 1 out. To the left fielder colors. That pitch is low for ball 2. Now 2-1 count. Also shout out Trent Jackson tonight. He's calling the Westfield game. They're playing Pinewood Christian down in Prairie, Georgia. Check it out on Middle Georgia Sports Live. He's down there with the world-renowned J.J. Siegels. That ball is smacked to center field. Major Simmons will get underneath. Runner at third will tag. It'll get past the glove of Johnson. Runner from second is given chase. He's going to slide in. Cook will be safe. At home, Cam McDonald will move to third. Now 2 outs for the Trojans, but the runner will score, making the score 6-1 now for the Trojans, as they were able to pick up a nice sac fly there from Mason Colors. And Tate Morris now will look to bring in the runner McDonald at third, not leave him stranded here with 2 outs here at the bottom of the third. Waters, 0-1 pitch on the way for ball 1. 1-1 count now. Pitch on the way. It'll be 2-1 now for Morris. Waters pitch on the way to Morris. Now 3-1 ahead, heavily in the count here. Still 2 outs, 1 runner in scoring position for the Trojans. And that'll be a strike 2 call now. Full count for Morris. Waters is able to regain composure here and put the count now at full. Pitch on the way. Now will be ball 4. So Tate Morris is able to pass on the strike call, and he's getting the first for free. And that will round out the lineup and bring up Marquez Wilson. He's at the 1-hole spot, the leadoff spot tonight. Again, he's able to put up some massive defensive numbers tonight for the Trojans, but he's able to also put out some great ABs on the offensive end. Strandmark steps off. Excuse me, not Strandmark. Oh, my goodness. Waters steps off. Pitch on the way. He'll go for the pickoff at first. He'll throw it to Strandmark. Strandmark will attempt to make that pickoff. Unsuccessful. So the Tattnall student section yelling bark. That's so funny. But again, that's one thing you can't replicate about high school sports is just the overall atmosphere you get, whether it be from soccer, baseball, football, or basketball. The student section is always going to bring the energy and bring the noise. The blue crew, if you will. So that is hit high. Back for foul ball now, 0-1. As Marquez Wilson is looking to battle here and put something into play here to at least advance the runner home at third. Oh, 1 count on the way to Wilson for strike 2 now. 0-2 now, 2 outs. Marquez Wilson does not want to leave this runner stranded, so he'll probably swing at this regardless. If it's something juicy, he's looking for it. Pitch on the way. Runners go. Lewis with a nice throw there to McHugh. McHugh is able to get in front of it. Lewis's throw was just far too out in front for McHugh, who awkwardly fielded that with the backhand, but tried to make the slick back tag, but unsuccessful. So the runner, Morris, will move to second. Marquez Wilson pitch in for ball 2 now. Count is even now at 2 for the junior shortstop. So 2-2 pitch on the way. For ball 3 now, full count now. Wilson is able to battle back and stay patient at the plate. 3-2 now. Three-two count, 2 outs. Waters gets the signal. Pitch down for ball 4. Marquez Wilson will head to first. Bases loaded now for the 2-hole. Braxton Collins. And here comes Coach Moore. He'll come back out to the mound again. He'll have a discussion here. May see a personnel change here. We'll see what Coach Moore has to say. Nobody is up and warming up for the Vikings, so he'll likely stick with Waters, but Waters is heading back to the dugout. So his night will be ended for the Vikings as Waters will head back to the dugout. He'll get his orders from Coach McHugh. And now on the mound for the Vikings is going to be, excuse me, I'm going to wait till they make it official here. On the mound now for the Vikings will be number 12, Grant Martin. So he'll come in, he'll step out of the DH spot, and Waters likely will move to the DH spot. And we got a final score now from Westfield as they got beat. We'll put it at that. They got beat 12-1 by the Pinewood Patriots down there in Claxton, Georgia, home of the Fruitcake Factory, the fruitcake capital of the world. A little fun fact there, courtesy of Kyle Tucka, one of the nice staff here, one of the excellent members of the MGSL crew. We'd love to have him on. So 12-1 was the final score at Westfield. Trent Jackson was on the call for that game. But as we tune back in here, Grant Martin is on the bump now for the Vikings of FPD. He'll move out of the, he'll probably stay in the DH spot likely. He'll stay in that DH spot likely tonight, as Waters' night will end with 2 strikeouts and 6 runs given up. So 6-1 will be the score with 2 outs, but Martin is in a tough position that he is entering in now with 2 outs, but there are bases loaded for the Trojans. Runners represented by Wilson at first, Morris at third, or excuse me, Morris at second. And McDonald at third. So now Braxton Collins, the pitcher, is up to bat now. Waters moves to third. He'll replace Sam Bryant at the third base position for the Vikings. Waters plays an excellent third base, so he'll look to make an impact here at the hot corner for the Vikings tonight, as he'll move to the third base spot. Now 0-0 count, fresh count for Martin. First pitch is in to Braxton Collins, and that'll be 1-0 count now. So Martin gets the windup call from Lewis. Pitch in. And that will be strike 1 now. Even count at 1. So Braxton Collins, 1-1 count now, as he looks to put a ball into play here. Pitch in. Collins smacks it foul. So 1-2 now. With the foul ball, we'll put the count in favor of the pitcher Martin, as Collins is behind in the count 1-2, looking to put something here into play to at least not leave these runners stranded. Pitch in for ball 2. 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 outs. 3 runners on, bases loaded. He'll get the sword there. Grant Martin will get strike 3, as 3 runners are stranded, bases loaded. No problem for the reliever, Grant Martin. He'll come in replacement of Wyatt Waters. He'll pick up the strikeout to end the inning. He'll strike out Braxton Collins, And on the other end, Braxton Collins will look to add to his strikeout total tonight. He's at 5, I believe, currently on the night. So we'll move to the bottom of the fourth here, or the top of the fourth, excuse me, here at Tattnall Square. Trojans lead 5, up 6-1 here on MGSL. Back here on MGSL for the Trojans. They're having an excellent game, up 6-1. Braxton Collins has really been the captain that's steering the wheel here for the Trojans defense. Picked up 5 strikeouts so far. As we move to the bottom, or the top, excuse me, bottom of the fourth, Vikings trail big with their win streak on the line. 115 in a row. Collins pitch in for 1-1 count now. Strandmark in. So that pitch to Strandmark is now 2-1, ball 2. Connor Strandmark been rather quiet tonight on the offensive end for the Vikings. That pitch is in for strike 2. 2-2 now, even count for the first baseman Strandmark. Vikings were down similar to this score. It was 5-1, I believe, in the 4th inning of last week's thriller against Stratford in extra innings. And they were able to come back and pick up a big win there to extend their win streak. So full count now, 3-2 to Strandmark. Collins looking to retire, the leadoff man. Gets a signal from Gorman. Pitch on the way. Strandmark will smack it foul right. Full count. So Collins takes the wind up here. Pitch on the way. Strandmark smacks it to the gap between third and short, between Morris and Wilson. And it'll be picked up by the left fielder. So Strandmark will be the first runner of the inning for the Vikings with that ground ball single. And Harrison Keenan will enter the box for the Vikings. Keenan smacks it to center field. Center field gives chase, but he's able to get to the warning track and make the play. Keenan was looking to replicate that late game home run he had against Stratford. But Wyatt Steele is able to track it cleanly and pick up the out, number 1. So Sam Bryant will actually stay in the game. He'll move to the DH spot as the lineup takes a little bit of a shift here. Grant Martin is the pitcher tonight. He moves into the pitching spot for Waters. Waters moves to third. So Grant Martin will still retain his spot, maintain his spot, I guess if you will, in the lineup tonight. As the first pitch is in, fouled back, 0-1. Braxton Collins has been excellent tonight on the bump for the Trojans. Approaching double-digit strikeouts with 6 on the night. 0-1 pitch on the way. He'll pick off. Move attempt there to Strandmark, but it's unsuccessful. Oh, 0-1 pitch on the way. It's hit the center field. Wyatt Steele will give chase. Diving play from Wyatt Steele. Wow, Wyatt Steele is able to make a diving play there to pick up out number 2. So back-to-back plays, he's able to come up big for the Trojans on the defensive end. Wyatt Steele is able to make a nice play at center field. A little smooth. A still dive, if you will. So 0-2 now, Keon Johnson. The leadoff man is now up to bat as the lineup shifts and flips over here at the top of the 4th. Johnson has been successful in getting on base every time this game. He'll smack that ball again to the gap between third and short. Strandmark will move to second. He'll gap it between Morris and Wilson. Strandmark now in scoring position at second. Johnson at first. So Major Simmons has been retired both times. Now the third time he's up to bat. He's been retired with strikeouts his first 2 appearances here. Collins has had his number tonight as he's been able to strike him out 2 times from the mound. Looking to get that sombrero, the hat trick here in terms of strikeouts. He'll check the runner. Strandmark at second. Pitch on the way. Simmons smacked it to left field. And that will be out number 3 as runner stranded on second and Strandmark. Johnson will be at first and he'll be out. Major Simmons smacks it to left field as the student section for Tattnall does the classic left, right chant as Coach Greg Moore heads to the dugout. 6-1 here is your score at MGSL. We move to the bottom of the 4th here at Tattnall Square. The Trojans have been putting it on with a run every inning. We'll be right back with 4th inning coverage here on MGSL. Back here at Tattnall Square, Grant Morris on the mound for the Vikings. He came in relief of Wyatt Waters last inning, as Wyatt Waters has had a not-so-ideal night, giving up 6 runs through 3. Grant Morris came on with bases loaded, 2 outs, was able to retire the batter. And now Wyatt Steele is up to bat for the Trojans. So the Trojans are looking to snap the win streak of the Vikings, who've won 13 in a row. Their last loss came courtesy of Veterans High School. They lost 12-9 to Veterans High School February 24th. So the Vikings have not lost a game since the end of February. They won their next game against Veterans 10-0 in the shutout. So 2-0 count. Now 3-0 count to the center fielder Stills. So 6-1 count. Stills is remaining still at the plate, still and calm. Has a 3-0 pitch on the way. That'll be strike one. So Wyatt Stills looking to reach base here by any means necessary. He's been excellent tonight at that center field spot. As strike two is in for Morris. Or Martin, excuse me, Grant Martin. Apologies. So 3-2 count. Martin is able to claw his way back. Pitch in for ball four. And Wyatt Stills will head to first on the walk. So Braxton Collins now up to bat. Excuse me, Griffey Gorman, the catcher. Only a sophomore. He's been excellent tonight. Was able to put some runners on in his last AB. And that runner being himself. Pitch on the way. Still gives chase as that ball gets away from Lewis. So now runner now in scoring position for the Trojans. Wyatt Stills. Or Wyatt Still. Wyatt Still is at second. In scoring position, 6-1 now. Martin checks runner at second. Pitch on the way. For strike one. A little bit of discontent expressed by the Trojans student section. As the count is now even at 1. Gets it wide. So now 2-1, still ahead in the count. A lot of people showed out tonight for the Tattnall Trojans. A lot of people in the outfield. You may be able to see a little bit of them with that view that we have here from the press box. Still fouls it wide. The Tattnall faithful cheering on their squad as they look to pick up a big, big statement win against the number two team in the state in FPD. Wyatt still smacked it at right field. That ball will get past the glove of the right fielder, Keenan, as he makes a sliding play. Unsuccessful on the sliding attempt. So now 7-1 as Wyatt still is able to score from second base. Griffey Gorman will move to second now in scoring position. 7-1 now. So Charlie Kemp will be a pinch runner just to get a little bit extra speed on the base path for the Trojans. And also to give Gorman a chance just to put his catcher gear back on and to get a little bit of an extra break there in between this inning. So Kemp, the 8th grader, the speed demon, if you will, for the Trojans, has picked up 6 stolen bases this year. In his time as a pinch runner, that first pitch is into Grant Martin. 1-0 now. Martin steps back, looking to pick off Kemp. Martin is able to get it in the zone. Backdoor look from the senior pitcher. Pitch on the way. Smacked up and foul. No play made on it. Now 1-2 count for Malcolm. No outs. 1 runner in scoring position. Gorman headed to the dugout to get his gear back on. That'll be strike 3, excuse me. So Caleb Malcolm will be sat down on strikes from Grant Martin. Chandler Cook up to bat now. Had the nice home run in the first inning, a 2-run jack to left field. Absolutely put a tattoo on it, knocked the stitching off the ball, if you will. He's looking to replicate that. 7-1 now is the score. Kemp at second in scoring position. Martin. Pitch in Cook fouls it back right. So 0-1 count. Oh, my exes. 0-1 count into Cook. Cook will hit it foul again. Oh, 2 count into Cook. Cook smacks it to right field in the gap. Charlie Kemp has given the sign, but he'll be held off at third as Keenan throws it into Strandmark. So Cook is able to come up big again by advancing that runner to third. Now runners at the corners for the Trojans with that single from Cook, and now Cam McDonald up to bat for the Trojans. And just as in the third, the bottom of the lineup is coming up big again for the Vikings. Martin's pitch in to McDonald is good for strike one. So 0-1 count to McDonald. Pitches into center field. Major Simmons makes a play. Kemp tags up. Throw into home. Great throw from Kemp. So Kemp is tagged out at home. Great throw from Major Simmons. Showing off the arm there. But the Trojans will still pick up another run here. 7-1 is the score as we move to the bottom, or excuse me, the top of the fifth. Here on MGSL, we'll be right back. Back here at Tattnall Square. Oh, my goodness. At Tattnall Square Academy. Moved to the top of the fifth here. The Trojans up 7-1 against the number 2 team in the state, the FPD Vikings, who have been rather silent from the offensive end tonight, and the defensive end has really just been a struggle for them as they just try to get by here tonight. As that first pitch is in, fielded cleanly by Morris at third on the backhand. Nice stretch there at first, and that's going to be out number 1. What a play from the Trojan infield. They're able to make a good play there. Tate Morris with a heads-up backhand and throws it to first for out number 1. What a play. Morris to Cook for out number 1. And what a stretch from the first baseman. Does the splits there, sends in his application for the U.S. gymnastics team as he picks up out number 1. Collins' second pitch is in there. As he hits. He hits Waters. Waters will move on to first for free after that electric start to the inning. It's kind of been kind of a stagnant way to put it back in favor of the Vikings, but the momentum has not yet shifted quite yet in favor of the Vikings. The Trojans still holding on to the momentum. Smacked high. It's going to be a high fly ball to right field. Fielded cleanly by Cam McDonald. And they'll get it back in to Wilson, excuse me. So Grant Martin, excuse me, is up to bat now. The Trojans looking to go 3 up. Well, not 3 up, 3 down. But they'll be able to retire this side in a good fashion here. As pitch is on the way, Martin smacks it foul. As it narrowly misses some Tattnall fans. So Grant Martin looking to put something into play here. Vikings' only base runner this inning is a hit by pitch in Wyatt Waters. 0-1 count now, 2 outs. Vikings have been blanked on the scoreboard since the first inning with only 1 run scored. And no run since, but Braxton Collins has been excellent on the mound. As he moves into the 5th inning of work, pitches in to Martin for ball 1. So 1-1 pitch on the way. Collins into Martin. Martin will hit it. Foul again. Now 1-2. As the Vikings are looking to hang on to a little bit of life that they have here as the game continues to progress. One-two count for Martin. Collins winds up, gets the call from Gorman. Pitch in. That'll be ball 2 now. Even count now. Even count now for the DH Martin. We're now in the pitcher spot tonight, though. Pitch on the way. Collins is unable to pick up the strikeout, and that'll be a ball 4. And Rick will be up to bat now. For the Vikings, still 2 outs. Vikings are looking to rally here, down 6. Braxton Collins checks runner at second. Pitch on the way. So Collins will call for a mound visit himself. He'll signal to Coach Brooks. He'll come out, he'll talk it over with his coach. Has been excellent on the mound tonight. Brooks is likely coming out there just to give him a few words of encouragement to get through this inning with 2 outs now. Just 1 left with 2 runners on. Probably just telling him, hey, you've done an excellent job so far for us. Get through this inning. This likely will be the last inning of work for Collins, who's thrown a plethora of pitches tonight. 1-7 the score here. Partly, or mainly, I would say, due to the dominant outing so far from Braxton Collins. He's been able to sit down the Viking runners and the Viking offense, and has been able to keep the offense hot for the Trojans, whose bats have been flying as they picked up numerous amounts of hits and also the big home run from Chandler Cook. So he'll re-enter the playing field after the mound visit from Coach Brooks. So 1-0 count now. Collins Pitch in for strike. Oh, not a strike. Ball 2. So 2-0 now. Two-0 pitch in. It's going to be ball 3. So Collins is visibly frustrated with himself here. He's struggled to find the strike zone this AB. So 3-0 count here for Collins as he's behind on the hitter Strandmark. Excuse me, not Strandmark, Keenan. Or it is Strandmark. I'm slow. So he's trying to work his way back now after strike 1. 3-1 now to Strandmark. On the way. Strandmark will smack it foul, so Collins is able to battle back. Now count full at 3-2. He'll look to retire the batter here and move on to the bottom of the 5th. So 3-2 count Collins. Steps up looking to fire something in to sit down the batter Strandmark. He'll get the sign from Gorman. Pitch in. And that's going to be ball 4 now. He thought that was a strike 3 call. It looked pretty good from up here. But the umpire will call it ball 4. Vikings now have bases loaded with Harrison Keenan up to bat. His late game heroics were documented well from the MGSL crew, as last week he came up big for the Stratford FPD game, was able to hit a nice 2-run home run, or 3-run home run, excuse me, the 3-run go-ahead home run in the bottom of the 5th as that ball gets away from Gorman, or bottom of the 4th, excuse me, or top of the 4th. Oh my gosh, I'm all over the place here late game. So pitch on the way. So 2-0 now. For Strandmark. Or not Strandmark, oh my goodness. Collins, pitch on the way. Unsuccessful, 3-0. So 3-0 count, not looking to bring in a runner. Pitch in from Collins. And that's going to be ball 4. It'll bring in the runner Waters from the corner. That's 3 straight walks for the pitcher Collins. He struggled mightily here with 2 outs. Coach Brooks will come out again and talk it over with the pitcher. And if you like what you see, folks, give us a follow on Facebook at Middle Georgia Sports Live, at YouTube at Middle Georgia Sports Live as well. Follow us on Instagram at Mid Georgia Sports. Again, that's at Mid, M-I-D-G-A Sports on Instagram or wherever you get your social media, whatever platforms you may use. And with that, you'll be able to follow us with all the action we cover here on Middle Georgia Sports, whether that be baseball, football, basketball, soccer, whatever sports you need, we'll be there on the call, ready to cover it here on Middle Georgia Sports Live. So don't miss any of the action. Give us a subscribe, give us a follow. As the Vikings have forced the Trojans' hand, and they are making a change on the mound. Charlie Kemp, the 8th grader, who has also doubled as a pinch runner for the Trojans this season, is taking the mound in hopes to finish this game out. Up 5 now, but he's entering with 2 outs and bases loaded to the bottom half of the Vikings lineup as Sam Bryant will step up to bat for the Vikings. Runners on for the Vikings represented by, runners on for the Vikings represented by Strandmark, Keenan, and Martin. As Kemp looks to put these guys away. So he'll warm up, get his pitchers in. So back here, personnel change for the Trojans. Charlie Kemp has taken the mound in relief of Braxton Collins. Collins will move to shortstop. He's had an excellent outing so far. I mean, only given up 2 runs. Lost a little bit of control on his pitches late down the stretch here. As that pitch is in from Kemp, 4 strike 1. So 0-1 now. Kemp in a high-pressure situation here with 2 outs, 1 strike, 3 runners on, bases loaded. Pitch in, gets low, past the catcher Gorman. As Bryant is still looking to stay alive here for the Vikings. Pitch in from Kemp. 2-1 count now. Kemp takes the windup. Pitches in, now 3-1. So Kemp, 3-1 count, pitch on the way. Fouled back now, count full at 3-2. Kemp looking to get out of this inning without yielding a run. Of course, brought in with a high leverage situation. Bases loaded, 2 outs. But he'll look to retire the batter, Bryant, here late. Pitch on the way. Smacked foul again by Bryant as he stays alive and Kemp continues to battle. Three-two pitch on the way, the go-ahead. It's going to be ball 4. So that'll walk in another runner. Bases still loaded for Kemp and the Trojans. And Keon Johnson is up to bat with a chance to get the lead. 3-7 here. A grand slam will tie it. Runners on bases for the Vikings, represented by Keenan, Strandmark, and Bryant. Martin just crossed the plate. Pitch into Johnson for ball 1. And if there's anybody on this FPD roster that is able and willing to put the Vikings in a chance to win, it's Keon Johnson. Batting .556 on the year. Pitch in. So that'll be ball 2. 2-0 count now. So still 2-0 count here for the Vikings. Kent Johnson. That pitch is 3-0. So 3-0, 2 outs now. Kemp looking to stay alive here. Walking Johnson may be the best option here because you don't want to risk the big hit from the big hitter. As that will be strike one. Johnson will let one slide. So 3-1 count as Kemp looks to battle back. 3-1 pitch in from Kemp. That will be ball 4. And Strandmark will cross home safely on the ball 4 walk. So now score is 3-7, or 4-7 now. As the inning has just been described in one word, I'd just give it walk. And that has really been the narrative and the name of the inning to describe it for the Vikings, as they've been able just to get runners in without having to get any hits. The Trojans have just struggled, as Kemp will take a break off of the mound. And for the Trojans, they'll have a personnel change here. Number 13, Tate Morris, the third baseman, will step in relief for Charlie Kemp, who was unable to put out the flame that's been put together by the Vikings offense. But really, the Trojans have just hurt themselves here by struggling to find the strike zone. And that's why the score has continued to get closer and closer here down the stretch for the Vikings. First out, so hopefully he can get the last out here on the mound. Major Simmons up to bat for the Vikings, as number 13, Tate Morris, is. So Micah Clyde will move to third base. He'll move to the hot corner as Collins is at short, Clyde is at third, and now at second is Marquez Wilson. Pitch into Simmons for ball 1. Simmons going to the University of Georgia for, not sure the degree, but he'll be going to the University of Georgia. Not for baseball, just for fun, if you will. As the pitch is in for ball 2. So 2-0 now. So the Tattnall fans expressing their discontent towards the guys in blue. That pitch is in. 3-0 now. Still a 2-out rally from the Vikings as they look to bring in another runner on a walk. Yet to get a hit this inning. They've just scored runners purely off the walks being yielded by the Trojan pitchers. The 3-0 pitch on the way from Morris. And he gets a strike call. So a sign of life here from the Trojans. Morris was able to get the first out of the inning on the backhand. So he's looking to end the inning himself with a strikeout here. Morris, pitch on the way. And it's hit towards the infield gap, and that's likely going to score all three of the runners. Given the hold sign at third, Keon Johnson will slide in at third, and the Vikings are rallying here. 6-7 now is the score. Score is now 6-7. Major Simmons hits a nice gapper in the middle infield and is able to score the runners Keenan and Bryant. So Simmons will be at first, runners at the corners, Johnson at third, Simmons at first for the Vikings. And now Brady McHugh up to bat for the Vikings. Brady McHugh up to bat for the Vikings. As the Vikings had a 1-7 trail to start the inning. And FPD always does find a way to come back somehow, as they've clawed their way back. 6-7 now is the score. So they were calling for a balk. So it was a balk there. So Coach Morris is able to spot the balk there. Great call there from Coach Morris. Got the eyes of an experienced coach, and Coach Morris is able to see it. He gets the balk call. The infield umpire sees the balk. So now that will cause the runners to advance. Keon Johnson moves home, and the score is tied at 7. As Coach JB will come out and talk to the infield umpire and state his case as to why it was not a balk. But Coach Morris was able to call out the balk, and he saw it, and the umpire sees it, so he'll call it. So 7-7 will be the score, as the Trojans have just collapsed here in the the top of the 5th. Haven't scored since the first, but they score 6 here this inning so far with 2 outs, runner in scoring position represented by Simmons. Johnson moves home on the balk call. Brady McHugh in the batter's box, down 0-1 in the count. That's in for strike 2 there. So Tate Morris on the mound, giving up 3 so far. As Brady McHugh waits for the pitch. He gets it. He smacks it to center field. Wyatt Still will give chase. He'll get under it, and he'll make the play. That will end the top half of the 5th here as we move to the bottom of the 5th here at Tattnall Square. The Vikings have clawed their way back and have been able to weather the storm put together by the Trojan offense. 7-7 is your score as we move to the bottom of the 5th here on MGSL. Back here on MGSL, bottom of the 5th here, the Trojans unfortunately unfolded. And at the top of the 5th, gave up 6 runs. The Vikings only got 1 hit. So if that tells you anything of what happened that inning, I don't think I really need to explain what happened. 1 hit and 6 runs. Something happened. A plethora of walks from the Trojan pitchers, and that crucial balk call tied the game up. as Mason Colors now up to bat. Things under control here for the Vikings as they look to keep it tied. Mason Colors, the Colors up for ball 2. Pitches in for strike 2 on Morris, or on Colors, excuse me. Grant Martin, excuse me, is able to make a nice play there. So 2-2. So 2-2 count for Martin. As he looks to retire the batter, the leadoff man, Mason Colors. Pitch on the way. Looked to get the strikeout, didn't get the call he wanted. Martin didn't get it, so it's still count now full at 3-2. Go-ahead pitch on the way. Martin yields the walk to the leadoff man, Colors. So the Trojans are able to find a base runner here. Now 1-0. Tate Morris is up to bat. Coach Greg Moore will come out. He'll talk it over with his pitcher, Grant Martin. So that will be the end of the night for Grant Martin. He'll take a break as Greg Moore will talk it over with his infield guys as they look to make a pitching personnel change. That seems to be the case. And Connor Strandmark will be moving to the outfield. Brady McHugh will take the mound. Connor Strandmark will take the outfield spot. McHugh will move to the pitcher spot. Grant Martin will move to first. So Strandmark will head to the outfield with Simmons and Keenan. And they'll have some fun out there, if you will. Sam Bryant moves into the infield. Brady McHugh looks to come on the mound and put together a nice pitching effort, which this game has really lacked other than the effort put together by Braxton Collins today for the Trojans. Really everything kind of unfolded in that 5th inning. Hopefully the Vikings are not trying to replicate the pitching performance from the top of the 5th from the Trojans. So Brady McHugh is on the mound now. He steps in relief for Grant Martin. Grant Martin will move to first. Strandmark moves to the outfield with Keenan and Simmons. Johnson still at short. Sam Bryant moves to second as Tate Morris is in up to bat for the Trojans as that first pitch is in for strike 0-1. And if these walks continue to pile up, both teams are going to run out of pitchers, it seems. But things seem to be trending in the right direction for the Vikings as the 0-2 count now for Brady McHugh. And that pitch is in for strike 3. Brady McHugh is able to ring up Tate Morris as Marquez Wilson now up to bat for the Trojans. So 1 out, 1 runner on in anyways, runner on first. McHugh, first pitch in to Wilson for ball 1. Pitch is in 1-1 now, strike one. Mason Colors on first base. That pitch is in for ball two. 2-1 count now for the leadoff man, Marquez Wilson. Marquez Wilson swings and misses. Runner Colors moves to second, so 2-2 count now. Two-two pitch on the way. Lewis pass ball. Runner moves to third. So 3-2 count now. Count is full. Pitch is in for ball four. So Braxton Collins up to bat. Collins had an excellent night on the mound tonight for the Trojans. Collins smacks it down the line. Grant Martin will make the tag, but a runner will score. Pitch in McHugh. That'll be strike one. So 1-2, that'll be strike two there. Two count now. McHugh, pitch on the way, 2-2. Strike three, gets him swinging and missing. That'll be strike three for out number three. As we move to the top of the sixth here at Tattnall Square. Tattnall scores a run there, now up one still. They regain the lead. We'll be right back on MGSL. Wyatt Waters up to bat for the Vikings as we move to the top of the sixth. Score is 8-7 now as Tate Morris still on the mound for the Trojans. Tate Morris picks up strike one there. 1-1 count now. Morris pitch on the way to Waters. Waters holds off for 2-1 now. Two 1 count now on the way to Waters for 3-1 now. Holy moly, 3-1 count. Pitch on the way. Smacked into center field, still will get under it. He'll make the play for out number one on Wyatt Waters. That will retire the leadoff man for the Vikings. So Tinsley Lewis will step up to bat for the Vikings, the catcher. Infield back. Play in the dirt there. So 1-0 count there into Lewis. So that pitch is in 2-0 now. First batter retired via fly out to center field to White Still. And that will be strike one now, 2-1 to Tinsley Lewis. And that will be strike two now, count even at 2. Pitch is smacked to third base to Clyde. For foul. Foul ball. Windup is in from Morris. 2-2 count. Pitch on the way to Lewis for ball 3. Now count full there to the catcher Lewis for FPD. Morris gets the windup. Pitch on the way. Lewis smacks it to left center field. That ball is high and deep, but the left fielder is able to get under it. What a great play there from Colors. Able to make the nice play there at left field for a big fly out. So Grant Martin now up to bat for the Vikings. Played the role as a relief pitcher for the Vikings tonight. That'll be 1-0 count now for Grant Martin. Grant Martin up. As we move to the bottom of the sixth here, the Trojans up 1. We'll move to the bottom of the sixth here at Tattnall Square. We'll be right back on MGSL. we move to the bottom of the 6th here. The Trojans lead by 1, up 8-7 against the FPD Vikings, who are looking to move their win streak to 14. And the Trojans are looking to put that fire out as, Griffey Gorman up to bat. He's had an excellent game here so far, especially behind the dish at the catcher position for the Trojans tonight. As McHugh's first pitch is into Gorman. Gorman will foul it wide right. So 1-0 count. Griffey Gorman's done an excellent job tonight being able to hold it down, as we've mentioned, at that catcher spot. But also, you got to give props to Charlie Kemp, who has been the courtesy runner. As Griffey Gorman hits it to center field, Simmons makes a nice play there for out number 1. So Major Simmons, nice little sliding stop. He says no problem. Comes up big there, and now we move to the DH, Caleb Malcolm. He'll take the plate with Freebird playing. He's looking to fly high with a home run here. Up 1. First pitch is in for ball 1, 1-0 to Malcolm, the DH. Malcolm smacks it foul, wide right. They're going to try to make a play on it. And they do. Great play there from Harrison Keenan. Able to make a nice play there. So with that out, we'll bring up Chandler Cook, who has been the slugger tonight for the Vikings, or for the Trojans, excuse me. Had the nice 2-run shot in the first inning. Since then, he's been rather quiet, but he's been able to bring runners in as well. But he hasn't been able to replicate his success from the first inning with that 2-run shot to the left field fence. So 1-1 count here to Chandler Cook, the first baseman. 2 outs. Pitch into Cook for strike 2. Nice pitch there from McHugh. So McHugh ahead in the count. The ETSU commit has been good on the mound tonight for the Vikings as that pitch is fouled back. Still 1-2. So 1-2 count, the go-ahead pitch on the way from McHugh. Line to Johnson. Johnson makes it on the weird hop. Great play from Keon Johnson. And Grant Martin is able to make the play at first. Keon Johnson, nice play to track it on the weird hop. And we're moving to the top of the 7th. It's crunch time for the Vikings. A run ties it. 2 runs take the lead. And if the Trojans can up 3 and down 3, they will pick up a big upset win against the Trojans, or against the Vikings. Goodness gracious. We'll be right back with coverage of the 7th inning here on MGSL. So we're moving to the top of the 7th here. Connor Strandmark looking to get things started for the Vikings as they trail 1. With their backs against the wall here, they need 1 run to tie it, 2 runners to go ahead and take the lead against the Trojans, who once had a 6-run lead up 1-7 in the top of the 5th. Had a 1-7 lead top of the 5th, and they kind of fell apart, and the Vikings took advantage of that. A plethora of walks, only 1 hit in the 5th inning, but yet 6 runs were scored. So if that really gives you an idea, that should give you an idea of how the defense of Tattnall performed, or really just the pitching end, as that pitch is in for strike 2 from Morris. Tate Morris gets strike 2. He's up 0-2 against the Mercer commit Strandmark. Morris gets to wind up. The call from Gorman. Pitch on the way. Ball 1 there to Strandmark. 1-2 count as Strandmark looks to stay alive and keep the win streak active for the Vikings. We'll move to 14 wins in a row if they can pick up the win here against the Trojans. Wind up from Morris. Pitch on the way. Strandmark gets rung up for strike 3. So 2 outs remaining for the Vikings. The number 2 team in the state right behind Loganville, as Harrison Keenan steps up to bat for the Vikings, who has been the late game hero for the Vikings here down the stretch, especially in the last couple of games. Pitch in low off the glove of Gorman. So a 1-0 count now. Keenan ahead in the count. So still 1-0 count. Wind up for Morris. Pitch on the way. Keenan will hold off. 2-0 count now for the senior outfielder. Tate Morris looked to ring up another batter this inning and to put the Trojans 1 step closer to picking up a statement win over the dominant Vikings. Pitches in. Keenan will hold off now. 3-0 count, ahead big. Pitch on the way. Into Keenan. He'll hold off. He'll take ball 4 in the high pitch. And Keenan now the equalizing run, The equalizing run on first base represented by Harrison Keenan. And now Sam Bryant at second base now. Has kind of been playing everywhere tonight. Was the third baseman to start the game. Moved to second base after Waters came out of his pitching start. Sam Bryant showing bunt just to move the runner to second to bring up the slugger Johnson. Likely a hit and run here if we were to give it a proper term. Hit and run is likely here for the Vikings. With it being an 0-2 count, Bryant likely will get the signal from Coach Morris. Or from Coach Moore, 1 out, 1 runner on. 0-2 count. Bryant smacks it to center field. It's going to get down. Still's going to try to get to it, but it'll bounce in front of Still. So Sam Bryant is able to come up with a nice base hit there to put the equalizing runner at second and the go-ahead represented by himself at first. And here comes the man for the job, if there is one for the Vikings. Keon Johnson up to bat. Of course, we know of his late-game heroics. Had the walk-off home run at FPD on Tuesday to kick off the series against the Trojans. Picked up a nice walk-off home run. Tower Knight was on the call there. Was able to capture the moment in its raw footage as the runner gets to third on the pass ball, and he's safe at third. And the Tattnall fans are gonna state their case. They're gonna give their reasoning why. But Bryant will be safe at second, Bryant will stay at first. At third, the equalizing runner is Harrison Keenan. So Keon Johnson gets intentionally walked. So Keon Johnson is walked intentionally by the Trojans. He gives a pep talk to his two-hole hitter, Major Simmons. Major Simmons looking to come up big here. Down 1. Morris, pitch on the way to Simmons. That first pitch is in for strike 1. So the Vikings, they're back up against the wall here in a situation that is not something they're too fond of, being as dominant as the squad they have been this year. The Trojans of Tattnall have given them a tough time. As that second pitch is in, 1-1 count, low in the dirt. So 1-1 count. Simmons at the plate. Bases low. Great pitch there, was framed beautifully by the catcher, Gorman. So now we got a 1-1 count. Or 1-2 count, excuse me. 1-2 count, 1 out, bases loaded. Pitch in to Simmons. Simmons squares up, he'll hold off. 2-2 count now. Count is full. Pitch is in. Simmons smacked it to right field. It looks like it's going to get down. Play. It's going to be in play. The runner's going to move home. Simmons is able to get the RBI single, and the runner scores. The score is now tied at 8. The FPD Vikings, the comeback kids, if you will, have been able to claw their way back, weather the storm put together by the Trojans. They've remained resilient, and they have not given up on the offensive end. And here they are tied with bases loaded, with a runner scored with 1 out, courtesy of Major Simmons. Line to right, as Brady McHugh will step up to play. Micah Clyde will move in at third base to cover up anything short here. Brady McHugh will take the pitch wide. So that pitch is wide in the dirt past the catcher, Gorman. Now 1-0 count. So getting word from our colleague at MGA, Tyler Knight, telling us that the Knights of Middle Georgia State picked up an upset win over the Columbus State Cougars tonight as they had a big game. They were able to pick up a big win there. So shout out to Tyler Knight for giving us information from the people in purple, the Knights. As we shift our focus back here, 2-0 now with 1 out to the second baseman slash pitcher tonight, Brady McHugh. With bases loaded, pitch on the way. McHugh gets past. He'll give his own sign of stay right where you are to the runner on third in Bryant. As Tate Morris looks to stay composed here despite giving up the run. So Tate Morris, 3-0 count, 1 out, bases loaded. Into McHugh, the go-ahead pitch. Is going to be ball 4, and that's going to score the go-ahead runner, Bryant. And the Vikings have somehow, some way, clawed their way back. Now up 9-8. Now up 9-8. The Vikings have been able to, again, stay resilient, been able to capitalize on the mistakes from the Trojans, and that will lead to another personnel change for the Trojans. The Vikings have forced the Trojans' hand. As Tate Morris will take a break, he will step off as the Trojans search for another pitcher. And it is going to be number 4, Cam McDonald, the outfielder, the left-handed pitcher. He'll come in just to hold it down here and stop anything that's going to try to be put together by the Vikings. And you got to give it to the Vikings here. We'll give you a quick little rundown of what has happened if you're here for the first time, if this is your first time viewing in this game. 1 run was scored in the first inning from the Vikings, and then the Trojans continued to just put it on. 4 runs in the first, 1 run in the second, third, fourth, and fifth. And as we got to the 6th, or really the top of the 5th, the Vikings have again, stayed resilient. The bats haven't been quite as hot as they have been recently, but they were just staying resilient and forced the Trojans to make mistakes in that 5th inning, which resulted in the Trojans giving up 6 runs on only 1 hit. So, again, if that gives you any idea of what happened, you can kind of draw the conclusion there, but if you want me to spell it out for you, they just walked a ton of the Vikings batters, which ended up with 6 runs being scored, which has led to where we are now. Top of the 6th with 2 runs scored for the Vikings, now 9-8. And we also want to give out a shout out to all the guys in the dugout for both sides. Of course, on the Vikings end, they've done an excellent job, and on the Tattnall end, they've also done an excellent job equally. But the Vikings, their standout dugout guy, Jake Lane, a fellow glue guy. I can recognize one from a mile away, with me being a glue guy myself. A locker room guy, you love seeing him, high energy, high grit, never says die. And Vikings never say die. That's something they never say. That's the Viking code. Leif Erickson, for all you history buffs out there, shout out Leif Erickson. But anyways, as we move back to the north, here in Macon, Tattnall Square Academy, 9-8, Cam McDonald takes the mound as Wyatt Waters is up to bat. Bases loaded still, 1 out. McDonald's first pitch is in for strike 1, so 0-1. Again, you got to give props to Greg Moore, been able to calm his guys, calm any nerves that have been drawn up just from being down 7-1, something that the Vikings, again, are not super familiar with. They've been able to stay resilient. Greg Moore kind of being a calm presence, but also the 5th inning was really where you kind of get to see the veteran leadership from Greg Moore, just his ability to see things that other people, that even I don't see myself being on the broadcast. He called out that balk from the pitcher at the time. I believe it was Tate Morris, who ended up yielding that tying run. Wyatt Waters smacks it foul on the right side. That's funny. So 1-2. 1-2 pitch on the way. Cam McDonald looking to retire Wyatt Waters, pitcher / third baseman. Pitch on the way. Go ahead. Into Waters for 2-2 count. That looked good from here at least, but again, our angle is not as good as the umpires on the field. So infield is in. Looking to play anything short here for the play at home to not yield any more runners here. Pitch on the way. Wyatt Waters smacks it past the shortstop gap. Johnson scores. McHugh on the way. He'll hold it second. And Major Simmons will slide in. So 11-8 now, courtesy of the 2 RBI single from the third baseman / pitcher and the Augusta commit. Wyatt Waters, he brings in 2. 11-8 now. The Vikings are on their way. They're storming it. They're storming the castle doors. So 11-8. McDonald, still 1 out. Pitch on the way. High. High and in to Tinsley Lewis, the catcher. Second pitch is in for strike 1. 1-1 count, 1 out. 1-1. So top of the 7th here. Cam McDonald, 1-1 and 1. One's flashing. Cam McDonald checks the runner at second. Pitch on the way. Tinsley Lewis smacks it to right center field, and that's getting past the outfielder. That's going to stop at the warning track, but the runners are not going to stop. They're running the track race here as McHugh rounds third, and he gets in 12-8. Now, for the Vikings that they have just rallied late. They've taken advantage. They've taken the things that have given them. They've played the cards they were dealt early on, and it doesn't matter because the house always wins, and you bet the house on Tinsley Lewis, and he hits the 2-run gap to bring in another runner, 12-8. Cam McDonald. Now, number 12, Grant Martin in. That'll be strike one. Grant Martin, the DH, was also a pitcher tonight and also doubled as a first baseman. So he's been just about everywhere, been around the world. And now he's in another position to bring in some runners here with 2 runners in scoring position. Takes a hearty cut at the plate, but is, catches the air there. So 0-2. So that 1-2 count. Pitch on the way for ball 2 now, 2-2 now. So 2-2 count. Cam McDonald. Still 1 out here for the Vikings. They've scored 5 runs so far. And that'll be ball 3. Full count now for the Vikings. And Grant Martin. Still 2 runners in scoring position in Waters and Lewis. Pitch on the way. That'll be ball 4 now. Bases loaded for Connor Strandmark, the Mercer commit. The record holder in strikeouts in a season, strikeouts in a career wins as a pitcher, and no hitters as a pitcher here at FPD with 3 no hitters. Record formerly held by John Rocker. So that first pitch is in for 1-0. Count. McDonald's on the mound. Goes in for strike 1 on Strandmark's. So 1-1 count. McDonald on the way. Strandmark will foul it wide right. Again, I'd like to give a shout out to Trent Jackson. He was on the call tonight for the Westfield game. They took on Pinewood tonight. Obviously, Westfield not getting the result they wanted. They lost 12-1 at home. So the Pinewood Patriots pick up a big win against the Hornets of Westfield down in Perry. So shout out to J.J. Siegel on the production side and Trent Jackson on the call. So he did an excellent job today. Also give a shout out to Tower Knight, who's giving us some information on scores. Veterans got a big win tonight on senior night. They won 2-0 against Ace. Complete game shutout from the Veterans Warhawks. And they were able to pick up a big win against the Ace Griffins. And also, speaking of Veterans, they do have a big win on the season against FPD. This was FPD's last loss came against Veterans. And so FPD was able just to bounce back easily. Anyways, 1-2, we're back here in the thick of it. Connor Strandmark behind in the count, 1-2. McDonald, pitch on the way. Pitch really high. Trying to hit us up here in the press box with that pitch. So now count at 2-2, evened up. Still 1 out for the Vikings. Strandmark will hold off. Full count now, 3-2. So 3-2 full count to McDonald. 12-8. Pitch on the way. Strandmark smacks it up. Likely going to be fielded here. Marquez Wilson gets underneath it. He's tracking it weirdly, almost lost control, but he'll find a way to get it back in his glove. So 2 outs now, and that'll bring up Harrison Keenan, who was able to reach base this inning, was able to cross the plate this inning as well, and here he is back at the plate with a chance to bring in some runners now with bases loaded, represented by Waters, Lewis, and Martin. McDonald gets the signal, pitches in to Keenan for ball 1. So 1-0 count. Pitches in. Off the dirt. So what a comeback it has been so far for the Vikings, as they've been able just to rally late. That 5th inning was really where they kind of broke the helm here, as that pitches in for strike 1. 2-1 now to the outfielder Keenan. 2 outs now. Up here in the press box tonight at Tattnall Square, been such gracious hosts towards us, with shout out to the athletic department. Shout out to Coach JB, who is down there in the dugout as the baseball coach. He's been an excellent way of contact for us here at Tattnall Square, just been able to set us up in the right spot. And also just a shout out to everybody at Tattnall Square. They've done an excellent job at being such hospitable hosts. And speaking of that, Keenan says, I'll be a good host for you, and welcome home Wyatt Waters as he crosses home for a runner in now. Score 13-8. Sam Bryant up to bat. First pitch in for a strike. Pitch on the way, 0-1. Bryant will smack it high. Wilson will get underneath it. Runners will still go. So that will end the top of the 7th here. The Vikings explode for 6 runs. 13-8 as we move to the bottom of the 7th here on MGSL, and the Trojans look to rally. We'll be right back. So we're moving here to the bottom of the 7th here. The Vikings have rallied late, scoring 6 runs in the top of the 7th here. And for the Trojans up to bat is number 4, Cam McDonald, who has been on the mound in the 7th inning for the bulk of the workload in the 7th inning, but now he'll move into a position to put some runners on, starting with himself. As Brady McHugh just looks to shut it down here. First pitch into McDonald. McDonald will hit it to first. Grant Martin will cleanly field it, but it'll roll foul. That second pitch is in for 1-1. Pitch is in for strike 2, Huey McHugh. So 1-2 count now. McHugh ahead, looking to retire the leadoff man, McDonald's. And he gets it. For strike 3, McDonald's put the fries in the bag. So that's strikeout number 1. The colors of the rainbow. He's up to bat. 1 out. Pitches in for strike 1. Nice snap of the glove there. 1-1 count. Not McDonald, Colors. Pitch in for ball 2. 2-1 count now on Colors. That'll be strike 2. Evened up the count at 2-2. McHugh has done an excellent job here late in his relief. He's done an excellent job in his relief appearance this game. He stepped in for Grant Martin. The go-ahead pitch is in for strike 3. So 1 more out left on the tally for the Trojans and 1 more out left to get for the Vikings as Tate Morris steps up to bat. So the Vikings 1 out away from completing an amazing comeback as they ring it up for strike 1, McHugh. Still dealing down the stretch here, bottom of the 7th. 2 more pitches to go if he's lucky. Second pitch is in for strike 2. 1 more pitch here. If all things go to plan, he'll pick up his 3rd strikeout of the inning and retire the side in order, striking out the side. 3rd pitch on the way to go ahead for strike 3, and the Vikings of FPD come back from a 6-point deficit down 7-1. They're able to complete the immaculate comeback over the Tattnall Square Trojans, and they're able to sweep the series this week, winning on Tuesday and now winning tonight in dramatic fashion. But you got to give a shout out to the Tattnall Trojans. They stayed resilient despite giving up the lead, but also the Vikings were able just to stay calm under pressure, and they pick up the big win and extend their winning streak to 14 on the year, and they move their record to 17-1 on the year, and the Trojans move to 7-7, an even record on the year. The Trojans will take on Baker County on the 9th of April, so next Tuesday, and the Tattnall Square, the FPD Vikings will take on Pace Academy next Thursday, April 9th. So again, what an epic comeback from the Trojans, or from the Vikings. Oh my gosh, I'm all over the place. The Vikings had an excellent comeback tonight. Coach Greg Moore was able just to steer the ship and grab the reins and tell these guys, hey, we got it in us, and we can win the game if we really have it and we really want it. So they had it. The momentum shifted in the latter half of the innings. 5th inning was where it started, and the 7th inning was where it ended. And the Vikings come out on top again. The comeback kids, down 6, they come back big and get a big win here. Again, I'm Aiden Mazingo on the call here from Mid-Georgia Sports Live. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you guys next time on MGSL.